The Senate chamber was unusually tense that morning. Cameras rolled, pens scratched against paper, and the sharp murmur of aides filled the room. But all eyes were fixed on two men seated opposite each other, Senator Lindsey Graham, known for his biting wit, and Senator John Kennedy, the Southern gentleman with a slow drawl and a mind as sharp as a whip. The hearing was supposed to be about education reform, a topic Kennedy had spent years studying and advocating for, but it quickly turned into something far more personal. "Senator," Graham said with a smirk, leaning back in his chair, "I respect your enthusiasm, but maybe your fancy degree from Oxford didn't teach you how the real world works. You talk like a man who's read too many books and lived too little life." The room went silent. Reporters froze mid-type, and even the Senate aides stopped whispering. It wasn't the first time someone had tried to mock Kennedy's intellect, but coming from Graham in such a public and deliberate way, it stung deeper. Kennedy didn't react right away. He sat there, eyes lowered, fingers lightly tapping on the desk. His colleagues watched closely. Some expected him to fire back instantly, but Kennedy had that rare quality, the patience to let silence work in his favor. Finally, he looked up. "Well, Senator Graham," he began softly, "if you think education is something to mock, then maybe we're not talking about degrees, maybe we're talking about values." The words hung in the air like smoke after a gunshot. Kennedy continued, his Louisiana accent rolling slowly through the chamber. "I come from a place where people didn't have much. My daddy worked the same land his daddy did. We didn't grow up with privilege. We grew up with plows, sweat, and Sunday sermons. I went to Oxford not because I thought I was better than anyone, but because I wanted to understand how to make life better for the ones who never got the chance." The audience began to lean in. His tone wasn't angry, it was heartfelt, grounded in a truth that everyone could feel. "You say I read too many books," Kennedy said, his voice rising just a little. "Well, maybe you're right. I read books about people who were hungry and poor and invisible. I read about justice and fairness and what happens when good men stay quiet while bad men laugh. If that makes me out of touch, then maybe we've lost touch with what this job is supposed to be about." There was a faint clap from the back row, hesitant at first, then another, until the room filled with applause. Even some of Graham's own party members couldn't help but nod. Kennedy didn't smile or gloat. He just looked down for a moment, then back up with steady eyes. But Graham, ever the fighter, tried to regain ground. "Senator," he said, forcing a grin, "I didn't mean to offend. I just think experience matters more than a diploma." Kennedy nodded slowly. "You're right, Lindsey. Experience does matter. But let me tell you,